Greetings. My name is Bishop Richard Allen, founder of the first independent African church denomination in America, AME, African Methodist Episcopal. Now, I've lived in Philadelphia as a free man for 45 years. And I'm here today to share with you my experiences that helped to form my perspective on the Declaration of Independence and the 4th of July celebration it inspires. I was born enslaved in the year 1760, given the name Negro Richard. My family and I worked on a plantation in Delaware where I became a depressed teenager, forced to swallow the bitter pill of enslavement every day. You know, my mother and 3 siblings were just sold off to another plantation right around the time that the Declaration was written. Now, I became a devout Christian while I was still enslaved. I even helped my owner to be a believer as well. You know, he realized that denying me my God-given right to freedom was a sin. So he allowed me to hire myself out for work so I could earn $2,000, the price of my freedom. Oh, at first I did patriotic work, delivering salt from Delaware to General Washington's troops in Valley Forge. Did other work as well. Took me 3.5 years, but finally I was able to buy my freedom. Changed my name to Richard Allen, worked to earn a living, and became a preacher that preached often in the company of other white preachers to predominantly white audiences. Now, in 1786, I accepted an invitation from St. George's Methodist Church here in Philadelphia to join the ministry. But in 1787, I had to declare independence from that church because they refused to accept us as equals. I led a group of Africans out of that church after Absalom Jones was violently dragged off his knees while he was praying in a place that was supposed to be for whites only. Now in 1787, before the Constitution was completed, we free Africans realized we have to take more independent action to look after the needs of all of the free Africans that were in the city that were in desperate need of help just to survive. So those of us that were working, were earning money, we unanimously agreed to form the Free African Society, where we would contribute to look after the needs of those that were less fortunate in our community. Now, after the new government was formed, we hoped they would pass laws consistent with the principles of freedom and equality in the Declaration. They didn't. 1790, they passed the Naturalization Act that said only whites could be citizens. No, Bill of Rights didn't have anything to do with us, and we had no voting rights. In 1792, they passed the Militia Act, which said that only whites could serve in the military, despite the fact that many Africans had fought on the side of the Patriots. In 1793, they passed the Fugitive Slave Act, which removed the status of states like Pennsylvania and others as being places of refuge for escaped enslaved people. Well, it was pretty clear the country was not yet ready to move forward. But you know, in 1793, when the city cried out to the Free African Society for help during the yellow fever epidemic, we responded. We temporarily put our plans for African churches to the side, and we helped to look after the sick, bury the dead, putting our own lives at risk. Well, in 1794, we were able to start 2 African churches, St. Thomas's African Episcopal Church, which was led by Absalom Jones, and the AME Church that I started 2 weeks later. But you know, both these churches struggled for many years to get full recognition and independence. We didn't give up hope. And you know, we looked for any sign of progress. So in 1799, when President Washington died and we learned that he had written a will to free his enslaved people, I delivered a eulogy for him at AME Church. Oh, I praised him as being a true American hero, and I urged free Africans to love your country. Now, 1799, that's also the year that I, along with 70 other free Africans, submitted a petition to Congress, basically urging them to live up to the words of the Declaration. They refused to even seriously consider our petition. And one delegate even stated, "We the people does not mean them." Oh, change seemed further away than ever. And you know, free Africans were even being chased away from 4th of July celebrations, attacked. And we free Africans were now confronted with the idea of being enslaved again. Slave catchers, well, they started just kidnapping free Africans. And others, well, they would falsely accuse free Africans as being escaped enslaved people. Oh, I never thought that would happen to me, but you know it did. 1808, knock at my door. It's a constable with a warrant for my arrest. A slave catcher had sworn a false oath that I had escaped enslavement only 4 years earlier. But then I had been a well-known free man in Philadelphia for more than 20 years. Oh, I appreciated that constable did not bind me and drag me through the streets like a common criminal, because he knew that warrant should have never been issued. Oh, he allowed me just to go down to the alderman's office and straighten things out. Oh, I was easily able to prove that I was a free man. Oh, but now I wanted justice. So I discussed the matter with a Quaker by the name of Isaac Hopper, who helped me to file a civil suit against that slave catcher. And you know what? I won. $800 judgment. The slave catcher did not have the money, so he was in prison. And you know what? I let him stay there for 3 months to teach him a lesson. But now finally, I, as an African, had gotten justice under the law. Oh, were the words of the Declaration of Independence finally catching up to this nation? Not yet. Africans continue to struggle with violence, oppression, prejudice, enslavement, with no end in sight. You know, we began to feel just like the colonists when they declared independence from England. It was a long train of abuses that put us under something like very much like absolute despotism. So now it was time for us to make new plans for our future security. And you know, those plans included leaving this country to escape racism. Oh, we considered going to Africa under the colonization plan until we realized that that plan had been formed by whites, likely only wanting to rid the country of free Africans while holding on to the enslaved. 3,000 free Africans unanimously rejected that plan at AME in 1817. Oh, next, we considered Haiti. You know, 50 members from AME Church went there. Didn't work out. I believe primarily due to cultural differences and financial problems. But in 1830, at the first meeting of the American Society for Free Persons of Color, I advocated immigration to Canada, where I believed we would be entitled to all the rights, privileges, and immunities of other citizens. Well, you know, I'm up in age, and my generation will be replaced by future generations. Well, we were not able to celebrate the July 4th in harmony, but perhaps future generations will actually come to believe that with one blood, God made all nations. Then, people of all colors, well, they can worship together, even celebrate July 4th together in perfect unity, pleasing the Creator who made all men equal. Thank you.